Human corpses flailed limply like ragdolls as my platoon punched through their feeble defenses. Yet only the so-called weak and deadly humans came to our rescue that day. It was the lowest point of my life. I sat hunched over my drink in some run-down space station bar as flashes of that bloody day flickered through my mind. I'm Derek Carter, a grizzled veteran of too many wars. A group of eager young Illyrian soldiers with bright eyes and clean uniforms sauntered up to me, interrupting my flashback. Their leader, a kid named Thule, leaned over the sticky bar counter. "We've heard stories about you, sir. Is it true that you fought alongside the humans in the Krath War?" Thule asked, eyes brimming with hero worship. "They say the humans came to rescue us Illyrians in our darkest hour. Could you tell us what really happened?" I took a long pull on my drink, the harsh liquor burning my throat. Where to even start? I'll tell you how it was. 20 years back, the Illyrian Empire was completely fucked. This vicious insectoid race, the Krath, had invaded our space. Their endless swarms just overwhelmed our planets, one by one. Overran them. I slammed my empty glass down as I continued the tale. We Illyrians, even with our advanced tech and psionic abilities, didn't stand a chance against their sheer numbers. They kept attacking, relentlessly. Our defenses crumbled. The Krath scattered our fleets. We were desperate. So the Illyrian Emperor sent distress calls begging the galactic community for help. My voice lowered to a harsh whisper. But no one came. The other alien races just turned their backs on us, left us to rot. They were too scared of the Krath to risk helping. It seemed like our empire would fall, that the mighty Illyrian civilization would be reduced to ashes and dust. I gestured to the human war posters covering the dingy bar walls, paintings of determined humans in battle armor, with laser rifles raised high. Then, at our darkest moment, these crazy fuckers showed up. The humans heard our distress call and actually answered it. This unproven, primitive species that no one took seriously came to fight for us when no one else would. But could they really turn the tide and save us from annihilation? I motioned the bartender for another drink, then turned back to my captivated audience. The story was just beginning. Derek's audience leaned forward, enraptured as he resumed his tale. I'll never forget the day that ramshackle human fleet arrived in Illyrian space. A motley assortment of ships, from sleek corvettes to bulky transports, dropped out of warp on the edge of the Krath front lines. It looked like a goddamn space junkyard. He chuckled, shaking his head. But hell, they knew how to fight. The Krath expected them to engage directly, like we Illyrians did. Nah, the humans had other ideas. They'd zip in fast, hit the bugs, supply convoys and comm relays, then jump out before the Krath could mount a response. Derek mimed shooting a gun. On the ground they were even crazier. Small squads would sneak behind enemy lines, ambush Krath patrols, blow up their power generators and factories. The Krath couldn't pin them down. He took another swig of liquor. In space, boy, that's where the humans really shined. They'd bait the Krath into chasing them, then slingshot around a moon and come up behind the bugs, lasers blazing. Unorthodox as fuck. Derek's eyes lit up with excitement. There was this one mad bastard, a pilot named Jax Reeves. We called him Maverick. In the Battle of Kerax, he flew his beat-up fighter right into a Krath dreadnought's hangar. Sounds like suicide, right? But he wreaked absolute havoc in there, blasting apart Krath ships before they could launch. Then, just as the dreadnought's reactor went critical, he punched out, ejecting in the nick of time. The whole damn thing exploded behind him, like something out of a vid. Fucking legendary. Derek paused, savoring the memory, then gestured for another round of drinks. Derek leaned forward, his voice lowering as he recounted the next part of the story. But you know, those crafty humans brought more than just badass fighting skills to the table. They had a knack for bringing people together, getting us Illyrians to put aside our fucking petty squabbles and remember what really mattered. He shook his head, a wry smile on his face. We Illyrians, we've always been a stubborn bunch. Each clan looking out for their own, not giving a rat's ass about the bigger picture. But those humans, they had a way of cutting through all that bullshit. Derek's eyes took on a distant look, as he recalled a specific memory. There was this one human commander, a real hard-ass named Colonel Jack Hawkins. Brass assigned him to lead a joint human-Illyrian task force. Their mission? Take back a major Illyrian colony world from the Krath. He chuckled, taking another swig of his drink. At first, the Illyrians in the task force were skeptical as hell. Taking orders from an outsider, it didn't sit right with them. But Hawkins, he didn't just bark orders and expect everyone to fall in line. Derek's voice grew more animated as he continued. Nah, this crazy bastard earned their respect the hard way. He was right there in the trenches with them, knee-deep in mud and Krath blood. Shared their rations, their hardships, listened to their gripes. Hawkins showed them that he wasn't just some big-shot officer, but a soldier just like them. He leaned back in his chair, a note of admiration in his voice. By the time they'd liberated that colony, those Illyrians would have followed Hawkins into the jaws of hell itself. That's the kind of impact the humans had on us. They reminded us that we were stronger together than we ever were apart. Derek paused, his gaze sweeping over the young Illyrians, who were now leaning in closer, their eyes wide with awe and admiration. It was clear that his words had struck a chord with them, igniting a spark of unity and purpose. As the Krath atrocities escalated, Derek's voice grew grim. Those fucking bugs, they started using chemical weapons on civilian targets. Nerve gas, weaponized plagues, you name it. Millions died, choking on their own blood, bodies piling up in the streets of Illyrian cities. His fists clenched, knuckles white. The Krath thought they could break us, thought they could shatter our resolve with their cruelty, but all it did was piss us off, piss the humans off. Derek leaned forward, a fierce light in his eyes. That's when the humans brought out the big guns, the Titans, fucking massive war machines, like something out of a mech vid. 50 feet tall, armed to the teeth with plasma cannons and missile batteries, all piloted by the meanest, toughest sons of bitches humanity had to offer. He grinned savagely. I'll never forget the first time I saw a Titan in action, Battle of Zephyr Ridge. The Krath had an entire division dug in, raining hell on our positions. We were pinned down, taking heavy losses. Thought we were fucked. Derek slammed his fist on the bar. Then, like a goddamn angel of death, this Titan comes stomping over the ridge. Callsign Firefly, piloted by Sergeant Emily Chen. A 5'0" slip of a girl, but fuck could she fight. His voice rose with excitement. Chen tore into those Krath like a hot knife through butter. Plasma blasts vaporizing bug after bug, missiles turning their fortifications into rubble. The Titan's armor just shrugged off incoming fire like it was nothing. Derek mimed the Titan's movements, hands smashing together. At one point, a Krath drone latched onto the Titan's cockpit, trying to claw its way in. Chen just reached up, plucked the thing off like a flea, and crushed it. Fucking crushed it in the Titan's fist. He shook his head, awe in his voice. I swear the Illyrians who saw Chen fight that day, they started worshipping her like a war goddess, a divine protector, sent to deliver them from the Krath. The hope in their eyes, the reverence in their voices when they spoke of her. I'd never seen anything like it. Derek took a long pull from his drink, the liquor burning his throat. With the Titans on our side, we finally had a chance to push back against the Krath, to make those bastards pay for every inch of Illyrian soil they'd defiled. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.